about that?
All right, we're
hey!
Twitter tourney time. Well, not quite. We got about 5 minutes. Let's see one of these posters real quick, just to see if the writing's backwards. If we need to do some magic.
This.
Oh yeah, that shit's backwards.
Beautiful.
How to do this.
Treasy's going to work on some stuff.
We're having technical difficulties.
We're here to warm up the crowd.
Yeah, rain delay theater.
We're going to rain delay theater.
Turn on intervention.
I was going to save this for the podcast later on, but I don't know if you guys saw Alex Rodriguez has some ideas about how to improve media with regards to MLB.
Does it involve J-Lo?
It involves putting cameras in all the stadiums and being able to watch the players take batting practice, throw their bullpens, and have some interaction. The players be able to go to the cameras and talk about what's going on. And live looking from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, just streaming online.
But now who's behind this?
A-Rod was talking about it.
Was it Belichick?
But
Belichick decided that we should do this.
MLB does something similar, but they only have one camera by the home dugout that players interview with during the day.
Sure.
So it's just basically expanding that program out to
the stuff you might actually want to see, right?
Yeah.
Like the live action.
It would be nice if they let season ticket holders in a half hour earlier to see the home batting practice, but we won't go there.
I totally agree. No, absolutely. I mean,
listen,
they should make something out of that. Why not?
Maybe we should just sign good free agents and not worry about watching batting practice.
Let's
focus high.
Yeah, calm down there.
Regardless,
I don't need a comfortable coffin. I'm fucking dead.
I'm starting to think. I
want
box
and burn you up.
I want a commissioner that's not beholden to the owners. I want a benevolent commissioner. I think A-Rod should be the commissioner of baseball.
No,
I would install A-Rod as the commissioner because you need a guy who has great passion for the game, could see the business side for the owner, so he's not going to totally be all pro player,
right.
But he see the player side and just wants the game to explode. They need someone in the middle to hold both their hands and make sure that we do the right thing for each other. Because otherwise, they're always going to be pulling against each other and never necessarily doing the right thing for the group.
But that sounds – a lot of the things you say, take it to the micro level and it applies to the White Sox. I mean, you're talking the macro level of MLB, but on a micro level, the White Sox need all of that because their fan base is dwindling by the moment. Every time Kenny opens his mouth, they lose more fans.
It's going to be bad this year.
Really bad this year. And I hate to say this because – they don't have any blame in this, but John Jay and Yonder Alonso are going to be booed unmercifully.
Yeah,
and I agree.
I feel terrible for him too
because it's not. They weren't. Alonso was brought in a trade, so he had zero say in this.
Couldn't help it, right?
Right, but the way the front office dribbled down their leg on the way this has been handled and everything, those two are going to face the wrath of the fans. And if you listen to the White Sox Talk podcast from yesterday with Chuck Garfien, where he interviewed Kyle Schwarber, it's a White Sox Talk podcast talking to Kyle Schwarber of the Cubs. But the first 3 minutes, it's obvious that there's still backlash going on because the first 3 minutes, all he talked about was, this is why I decided to do this interview. I know anything that's positive that's said about Alonso or Jay is from a jaded fan viewpoint right now, and you just think I'm being a homer for the organization. So that tells me that
he's aware.
He's aware, and it's not letting up.
No, yeah.
And it was starting to die down until Kenny talked last Thursday. That was
sure.
To quote Wally Money, that was the accelerator.
That was the accelerator.
That was bad.
Hey, before we
really bad.
Get going, you're going to need to move that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because this is right where we're sticking those two.
Well, it's going to be backwards anyways.
Okay.
That's fine. We run a backwards ship, all right? We low fi.
That's true.
Low fidelity. That's how we run things here.
UHF.
Big thighs.
So this is not going to work exactly the way that we were planning.
I think it's going to work exactly the way I can. I wrote out all the matchups in crayon on poster board, okay? This is how we do shit. My Sox Summer suggested we go get it professionally printed and get all the stuff. I was like, fuck that. I got a couple markers. I'm going to go to the Staples. I'm going to get some posters. I'll just write it out.
I think the daughters I think the work your daughters did was much better than what you put on.
I agree. I can barely read it, and I'm going to sit right next to it. So that's fine.
All right, well, we're almost there. I think we're going to get started in just a second. This is the White Sox Twitter Personalities Tournament that we do every year.
Yeah, the reveal show.
The bracket reveal. So
it's the first time we've done.
So are these players getting roses?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know where any of these people live. So
it's not 100% true because we're in it, so we know where we live.
Right. You know, I occasionally know where I live based on where my Uber says home is.
It's a good thing that's programmed in, huh?
It is. I didn't do it either. Hornsey took care of that for me.
Now, did anyone tweet out the link already?
Yeah, it's out there, baby. There's people on here looking at
Beautiful.
it. It's all sexy.
I can feel some of their eyeballs on me. Not all of them.
So look,
you're used to having balls on you.
Mostly everyone has their pants on.
12 people. We got 12 people.
Beautiful.
It's 7:30. I think we're about ready to get started.
Let's do it, baby.
I'm going to kick it over to Beefloaf, who's going to tell you all about this tournament. It's his brainchild. He's the one who came up with it. Me and my Sock Summer are the ones that told him it's a stupid fucking idea. This Mr. Hand over here, he's going to be helping us kind of break down some of the matchups. And then after the show, we're going to record our normal podcast. And we're going to go even deeper into the matchups and drink a lot more beers. And we're going to see where that goes. Yeah. It should be a lot of fun. So I'll let Beefloaf get started. I'm going to get my Malort because I got to do a shot because we didn't get Bryce Harper either. So that great was fun. I'm pretty much fucked forever.
So. Thank you, Treasy. Just to introduce the Twitter tournament. Last year, I came up with this idea. I actually did 9 teams. I think it was 9 teams per bracket, so the 36 teams total. I pitched it to Treasy and My Sock Summer. Treasy told me this was a terrible idea, and he didn't think we should do it. My Sock Summer gave me the diplomatic My Sock Summer, where he said, "Oh yeah, that's okay," you know. And it laid there for a couple months.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Sounds like a lot of work." I said, "I'll do it." Like, a lot of work. Yeah, well, okay. And so we started getting down the road, and we got to March, and I still wanted to do it, and I had set up the bracket and got it all ready. And I sent it to My Sock Summer. I said, "Hey, can you touch this up? I want to throw this out there." Oh, cheers! And I want to get this tournament started. And My Sock Summer, because he's a good man, he did go and brush it up and make the tournament bracket look nice. We dropped the post out there, and we sort of announced it and put some first-round matchups up. And I remember I put this out, I think it was maybe a Thursday morning. So we tried to line it up exactly with the tournament. And I put it out there. I didn't think anything of it. And I got to work, and I checked our WordPress site at work. I'd been at work for maybe 30 minutes. So let's say the thing's been up 90 minutes.
Real solid day of work already.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm done.
Are you a government worker?
I was done. And it had an ungodly amount of views already. So we sort of realized, well, people might like this idea. So this is where we decided we're going to do it again this year. Expanded the fields. Now we do 65 teams. And we actually had some playing games because we had some tough decisions. I'd love to tell you guys that there is a stringent, specific criterion for putting this bracket together, but there isn't. It's literally just me, my own volition, throwing shit down, and then I take the input of Treasy and My Sock Summer. I mostly only take Treasy's input. I don't listen to what My Sock Summer has to say, and here's why. Treasy will come to me with an idea. He'll say, well, this person's not in. They probably should be in because of X, Y, Z. Why don't we put them in, and then let's look at a couple people maybe that will slide out. My Sock Summer, after I've been working on this for 6 months, will tell me, oh, why are you doing it that way? Do it that way. Do it a different way. It's like, yeah, I'll just rip up 6 months worth of work. No problem. So I usually have to push off My Sock Summer's thoughts on some of these things and go with Treasy, because Treasy does see, like, oh, yeah, the thing's already kind of done. Here's one tweaker, one idea.
Although I do think that My Sock Summer got in there and blocked me on one. We'll talk about it later.
Yes, he did. So I have different criteria for different brackets. Treasy, do you want me to go over the criterion when the bracket's up, or do you want me to go over them before we start unveiling everybody in the matchups?
Let's do it now. Let's get it out.
Okay.
Get it out. Then we'll start getting in the brackets.
So this will be fairly quick. The celebs region isn't really technically celebrities. It's just local celebrities, but it's mostly media. So media doesn't fall into superfan necessarily. It doesn't necessarily. It could. It's possible. There are some out there. It doesn't fit into blogger podcaster in the traditional sense. I understand someone like Chuck Garfien has a podcast, but it's run by a big media outlet. It's not some guy in his basement putting a podcast or blog together. Those are the people I want sort of in that side.
Right.
And so a lot of what matters there is like your following, your influence, and then how much you interact about the White Sox. There's tons of White Sox fans out there that are of note, but they're not participating with all the scumbags like us on White Sox Twitter.
Exactly.
So we're only including those people that do.
People leaving their hot takes out there.
That's right. But if they go back and forth with the regular fan, they have a chance to get in this group, and so that's what you'll end up seeing here. The blogger podcaster region, you have to be at least popular enough so that we're aware of you. And generally, this group, we mostly have to like your work, or you have to be really popular. So you could be a smaller blog, and if the 108ers really like your work, you could probably get in.
I like that you insinuated that, like, if you're popular and we don't like you, we'll you stick in it.
You could probably still get in, depending on your influence. It's not don't like, it's just like, we don't go to that blog every day, sort of thing. But there's some blogs that we go to or listen to. I mean, when the bracket's up, I'll give you a prime example of a very small Twitter following that got in here, because I think as a group, we all sort of like the product that comes out of it. So we're willing to put it in the group.
I got you.
And there's some bigger ones where we probably don't go to them that often, but they belong in here because they're part of the bigger community.
Right. See, that was my idea, Chris, or Treasy, but that's why I didn't listen to me.
Did a real good job.
Is that a drink?
Yep. The 108 bracket, it's our party, and so we're in it. That's basically it. This year, because we had 16, 17 tournament contributors per bracket, we went a little farther out. So you'll see people that are not people who write blogs for us or anything like that, but just people that are, let's say, part of our friend group, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like people that sit with us a lot, or people that have written blogs for us. Like, it's kind of a combination of the two.
And there's people in the Superfans bracket as well who could fit into that group, like could possibly be part of the 108 group. For whatever reason, we sorted them the way we did. It's fairly random. Superfans is so difficult. It's the hardest group because there's probably 100 people we could fit into this thing. That's why we had 2 play-in games. And even then, there was like a pile of people that we were looking at as like, they should be in. That person should be in. That person should be in. So it gets really tough. I don't know. Treasy and I have talked a little bit about restructuring this tournament a little bit to add more fans and have less of the media blogger types. But as of right now, we're going to stick with the current stuff.
The format from last year. We're going to stick with the format from last year and then see how that goes. And if we need to move it next year, I mean, we've got 12 months, but we'll only use the last 3 days. And we'll get it all sorted out.
That's such bullshit.
There were actually moves made in the last week. I will bring up when we pull the bracket up. Someone did make the bracket in the very last week. They had a fairly strong performance coming the last 3 or 4 months. They weren't quite there yet, and then they flipped the switch in the very last week, and we threw them in there. So that can happen. So if you're someone who is not in this tournament and wants to be in it next year, just remember, just watch what you see the people in this thing do, and then, step your game up. That's about it.
Yeah. Don't pitch.
I think we're ready for some brackets.
All right, let's do it. Let's get the first one up. It's going to be backwards. Like I said,
backwards.
You can't read it anyways. It's all the way back there.
All right. Did it stay?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to stay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. If it falls, it falls. Okay.
You can't see it anyways. It's fine.
He'll read it out.
This is the celebs region. So the number 1 seed facing off versus the number 16 seed. Number 1 is Chuck Garfine. And number 16 is the lovely Lauren Nasevic.
Woo! Hubba hubba.
Number 8 and 9. Number 8 seed is Chris Kamka from NBC. Going on against 670 The Score's own Chris Tannehill. Great matchup in the 8-9 slot. Number 4 is @NotRickon. And number 13 is someone who doesn't like not accounts. Yeah. That is Red Sox, who we just interviewed on our blog. So that should be a fine matchup in the first round. 5 and 12 is @NotKenWilliams at number 5, and number 12 is WBBM's Rob Hart, great White Sox fan. Yep. Number 3 is Scott Merkin, and he's facing off against number 14, Daryl Van Schoen, the matchup of the beat reporters.
There'll be a fight in the press box for
that. The summer 6 seed is James Fegan, our guy. He came out and did the live event with us, sweetheart of a guy. He's facing off against the number 11 seed Southpaw.
Oh, I want some trash talk.
Yeah, there you go. The number 7 seed in the sled bracket is Lawrence Holmes, and he is facing off against his executive producer and the number 10 seed, Herb Lawrence, the realness.
I like that. I like that one.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you guys have many words for that one after this. And the last matchup of the celebs bracket is the White Sox Talk account. The NBC White Sox Talk account is the number 2 seed, and our play-in winner, Shane Reardon, number 15 seed.
See, I think Shane's got that one in the bag.
Really?
I think Shane's got that one in the bag. I don't think people are hot. I'm going to say right now, the 1 and 2 seed, people are not hot on them right now. I expect both of them to get upset.
How can you vote against Lauren? Chuck looks like a gargoyle next to her. I mean, come on.
Chuck's got a big following. He's like
But it's very, I think it's been out of those 2 accounts, man, it's very, company line.
Yes.
Like it's
especially the last couple of weeks.
A lot of bullshit right now.
Yeah, especially the last couple of weeks.
The Lawrence Holmes, Herb Lawrence is the one I'm most interested in.
I agree with you.
I want to eat Lawrence's just looking at the Lawrence's matchup.
Well, no, I look at it. I actually look at it like I'm going to use a Star Wars reference. Does the apprentice become the master in this one?
I like it. I think Herbie wins that.
And Herbie's very popular in Sox Twitter.
Yes, he is.
And he gets in there a lot, and he converses with the people a lot.
And much credit to Herb. For 2 years, he was saying, this ain't going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. He said it for 2 years, and he was absolutely right.
Didn't sign anything.
My Suck Summer.
Since we're talking about that, I'm going to say this is the Herb and the Lawrence is going to be the Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fight of this bracket, but not now, but when it actually mattered. Manny.
When it could have been.
Manny now.
I thought we were going to have to do this round 15 times is what you were
Nope. And then if Lauren can get the Red Line guys and the Barstool guys
that's a
come
key.
out in full force, we could have a 16-1 in the early round. Easy.
I totally agree. She'll need the force of the Red Line Radio crew behind her to make this a race.
Chuck's going to have to interact with White Sox Twitter if he wants to win this.
Yes, he
will.
will.
He actually will.
I don't think he wants to.
That's
not right now. Not right now. If you listen to his open to the podcast yesterday, he's a little leery of interacting with fans still. But I have to talk about 4 and 13, or no, 5 and 12. Not Kenny Williams versus Rob Hart. Rob Hart is a great Sox fan. You know, you hear him on the radio talking about the news, and then you get not Ken Williams, who makes news every time he opens his mouth, and it's not good. I got to go with Rob on that one. Just the poll. I know it's a bot account, if you will, but just the name Ken Williams, automatically people are going to go against it. Just because
I don't know, because I feel like that those 2 accounts have the levity of you get to not really think about how shitty those guys have been this offseason, and you could just kind of joke with them about
it. And you've been able to rip on them the whole time.
Okay, fair point.
I feel like Fegan and Southpaw is going to come down to a very, very few votes, especially if Southpaw retweets it.
Plus, Southpaw's got 50 burner accounts, from what I hear.
Yeah, I believe that.
Well, I think Southpaw will be waiting in the parking lot opening day. I think Southpaw will be waiting opening day if it loses to Fegan. he might get Tanya Harding.
He's got to report to the
I love that you said if it loses to Fegan.
Let's get to the next region.
Wait a minute.
Oh shit!
Snubs?
You got any snubs? You guys any?
We want to talk that now?
Yeah,
good.
Snub. My snub, number 1 snub. Frank Kaminsky. Where is he?
You know what? Frank is a good call, but Frank does not interact with the group.
But if we don't put him in the tournament, he's never going to interact with us.
That's true, but there hasn't really been any sort of connection. I hear you, but that's an example. Someone could come and say, why isn't Ben Shapiro in this group?
Is Frank?
Because he's a famous Sox fan too.
But he doesn't interact with other Sox fans.
Correct. Yeah. This group materially does.
Really?
Yeah. Shapiro. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say he interacts more than Frank.
Frank.
So that's the problem. I agree. I don't necessarily disagree. There are more famous Sox fans, but that was some of the point I was making up front. These people in general, if you tweet at Scott Merkin, even though he's a beat reporter and he owes you nothing, he tweets back. He'll say hi. He'll interact with you. So that's sort of the kind of group.
Shapiro.
Yeah.
Any additional snubs?
Not from this region.
I really don't.
This is the region that I actually care the least about. So if there's a few guys in here that I'm let's get it done. The rest of it, I don't care.
Okay.
I'm bummed that Alyssa is not in the bracket.
Yes.
Because she did not win her playing game.
Yep.
So I'm disappointed in all you single, lonely-ass guys that show up to all our tailgates. You did not come out in full force.
That's true.
And vote her in.
Because she might have gone to the tailgate to say thank you.
Why we need the creepy vote, man? Just say she's a good Sox fan.
We don't need the creepy vote. He's saying that she needed the creepy vote for that.
I know we're not supposed to put players in this, right? We have a strict no.
Correct. There's no player rule.
I would definitely be the number 1 seed.
Yeah, that should have been brought up in the beginning. No players, because obviously I could fill this whole thing with players.
Yeah.
But what's the point of that? That's no fun. So fuck that.
Including a player got his leg humped?
Yeah. All right. So that bracket's done. For my money, the toughest bracket, a Murderer's Row bracket.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Is the bloggers, podcasters bracket.
Yeah.
The number 1 seed and number 1 overall seed in the tournament, last year's champion, is White Sox Dave. And he'll be facing off against the number 16 seed, Matt Zawoski. Father Zoe of the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast was nice enough to have me on. Not saying that's specifically why he got in, but if you want to have a chance of getting in, having me on your podcast might improve the odds. Number 8 and number 9 is my favorite matchup in this entire tournament in the first round. The number 8 seed, Ken W.O., will go against number 9 P-Knowles. They have a long outward Twitter rivalry, and we're going to rekindle those fires on Friday, or when the Friday matchups come out. They'll actually be playing on Friday. Not all of these ones will, but their matchup is going to be on Friday. So looking very forward to that.
Friday.
Number 5 and 12 are rivals of sort as well. Number 5 is Jim Margulis, who used to run Southside Sox, who is now the proprietor at Sox Machine, going against number 12, Southside Sox, the SB Nation site that he used to run. Number 4 seed is our guy, our buddy. We've done live events with him, Josh Nelson from Sox Machine as well, against number 13, the Sox in the Basement podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Up top again, here in the bracket, number 3, Future Sox, is likely to pummel one of our best friends, NWI Steve, at the number 14 seed. Sorry, Steve. Number 6 seed is a friend of the 108, Brian Billick, Future Sox, going against number 11 seed, Shy Sox Weekly.
Oh, yeah.
They just added extra muscle with Johnny Nani on the show, so I don't know if that's going to up their profile or not. The number 7 seed and longtime blogger, old White Sox blogger, Sox Nerd, against number 10, Nick from BP Southside. And finally, the number 2 seed, last year's Cinderella, rocketed from the 7th seed all the way to the final of this bracket, is Sox on 35th, our guys, against number 15, the play-in winner, James Fox from Future Sox and Loop Sports. Gentlemen, have at it.
So the matchup that I'm looking at isn't even in this round. It is if Ken W.O. gets past P-Knowles and we get a White Sox Dave against Ken W.O.
Oh, that's some trash talking.
The match, that's like an old school wrestling matchup. That's I want to see that. I almost want them to just spend the whole day together while the voting's going.
I agree with you. Ken W.O. and P-Knowles is by far the most interesting match on here because you got the battle of the old school versus the new school.
Yeah,
and who's going to win? Is it going to be average or is it going to be OBP? Because you're going to hear those two all the time just bitching back and forth about that.
Absolutely. They've got a friendly rivalry online, and I think it's going to extrapolate in this tournament. I think you'll see a lot of trash talking for their matchup.
Well, Father Zoe is, I'm sure he's really happy to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
He is not going to be happy to get curb stomped by White Sox.
It's
better to get in and
That's
get
right.
curb stomped, Father Zoe, than it is to not get in
I don't know.
and still get curb stomped.
Now, let me say this. Father Zoe does have the Sports Mockery crew behind him, potentially.
Yeah.
And that's a big crew. So if they mobilize, he can make that a bit of a matchup.
I'm just saying, man.
If he gets 20% against White Sox Dave, that's a big victory.
Pretty
for him.
good.
My personal opinion.
I feel like Sox on 35th is going to storm. Like, I feel like
They're a monster.
there's 47 of them. So like, that's going to help. But like, I think that they're gonna at least get to the championship of this bracket, and I kind of see them having a chance of taking it down. Even though Dave's the defending champion, I feel like they can do it. I feel like that's the one to watch.
I have a question about one participant in this.
Sure.
Will Billick break cup holders and delete tweets if he loses?
I don't know. I can't predict his behavior after this. This is an especially tough bracket because you have Future Sox, which is a monster. You have Sox on 35th, a monster, and White Sox Dave is a monster. Even getting to the Sweet 16 in this bracket is very, very tough.
Yep.
Very tough to even just win 2 games in this thing.
Yep.
I talked about in the open when we were talking about specific blogs or podcasts that we like that have a smaller following. And the way you can get in here, if you just put a quality product together and we're aware of it, is Socks in the Basement. Socks in the Basement has a small Twitter following, but guess what? They turn out a good podcast.
That podcast is really good.
And the group loves it, so we're putting them in. So this is just anyone who's out there who is just starting some stuff up, a blog or a podcast, put together a quality product, get people to notice it. You'll get your ass in this tournament, and we'll probably knock out Shy Sox Weekly if they don't step up their fucking game.
And one point about that, though, like a big part of why we do this tournament is it's the best fucking Follow Friday you ever had, right? And we're going to give you all the people that we think are the best, right? So 65 accounts that you should go and follow. So follow everybody. And if you don't like it, you can unfollow them. You can mute them, do whatever you want. But give them a shot, right? Go check out all these things. They're all out there. We're just condensing it for you, let you see it.
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't have any snubs from this.
I really don't. This
one
I think this one is
so
the
one of my snubs is between this and the
Superfan or
the Superfan bracket. So I'll bring it up later.
You'll bring it up in the Superfans?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't want to give away if people didn't make the Superfan, you know.
Right, you want to give them a chance to see it. Okay.
Ooh, is 108 region next?
The next bracket is the region of least interest. The 108. Now, let me just say,
only one matchup everyone's going to care about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let me just say, the only reason why I keep the 108, why I had a 108 region last year and then why I put a 108 region this year, is to keep the other 108ers helping us promote this thing. Because otherwise, if these guys weren't actually in it, they might not pay attention.
No, I wouldn't even look.
They might not know what's happening.
That's true.
So the 108 region starts off with the number one seed and winner of the 108 region last year. Brian Billick would call him the face of the 108. That is my sex son.
I'm texting Wally money right now. He's like, I'm at the bar. Keep me updated. So I want to make sure that I send it to him.
Okay.
Well, why don't you record when we talk about their bracket?
Yeah. And he is facing off against the number 16 seed, Jason Hosking, who
newest 108.
He's the newest guy to sit in the 108.
He's in row 11.
He's going to be right there with us in the thick of things. So when he makes it in town, you know, we'll be mixing it up together. Yep. So it's good to have him in the bracket. The number 8 seed and number 9 seed. Number 8 seed is Mrs. Treasy E, affectionately known as Queernsy on the podcast. And she's facing off with Bobble Jim.
Now,
it's a fucking bloodbath, Bobble Jim. Sorry.
Bobble Jim, I apologize. You're not going to win this match.
Quernsy's been on Twitter as long as Will Wheaton.
You're going to have to give Jack, and then it was Quernsy right afterwards.
The only way he's winning is if he offers all his bobbleheads to people to vote for him.
That's not happening. All right.
The matchup you guys have all been waiting for.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Is the number 4 seed, Wally Money. You can see, anyone who's watching, we have sort of a three-way.
You're not drunk and you're not seeing things.
We have a three-way matchup here. This is how Wally Money likes it. It's going to be Wally Money against Ike Johnson and Zach Sherwood. Both 13 seeds. They're sharing the 13.
You pay double for that.
Number 5 seed is Legend, Hall of Famer, Biggins, against number 12, Sleepy Harold.
Mini Legend.
Tiny man. Cleveland Browns jersey.
You could not get a more disparaging height between two teams.
Biggins is legitimately a foot taller than Sleepy Harold. You say someone's a foot taller than someone, he is actually a foot taller than him. I don't know how they measure up below the waist. We'll have to consult Sleepy Harold on that. Number 3 seed is yours truly, the Beef Loaf, and I'm going against number 14 seed, Kier from New Sox Order. Number 6 is my man, Aloha Mr. Hand, and he's facing off versus a very tough number 11 seed. He won the play-in game to get into this bracket, Ben Rosen.
You know what I like about this matchup? I've forgotten to post blogs for both of those motherfuckers. Just in my inbox, just passed out, didn't do it. Never happened. There's blogs you never read because I just never posted for both of those things.
The number 7 seed is the Slump Buster, who I don't know if he's been very active lately.
So since I handed his account over to him, I taught him how to use a computer, showed him how to use Twitter, gave him his phone. He was very excited. 0 tweets since.
Excellent.
So,
well, maybe he was hanging with his new friend from Detroit.
That's
And he is going against number 10 seed, Mrs. Beefloaf. And finally, to close out our 108 region, is the number 2 seed, Teresa E., facing the mayor and the 15th seed, Gentlemen.
So, yeah, I'll throw some thoughts real quick. I just want to apologize right off the bat to the mayor and to Mrs. Beefloaf. These are like two of my favorite people, and I'm going to crush both you motherfuckers. I feel a little bad about it.
And I just have one word to say to Ben Rosen. Pain. That's it.
I don't know Jason's history in Melbourne, Australia. He's from Australia. He might have a huge following over there.
Yeah, you never know.
We don't know. Is international Twitter going to show up and like try to curb stomp me?
I think it's going to be pretty safe.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'm not really worried about anything.
I feel like that part of the world, Friendster, would kick the shit out of you.
Friendster,
like if you're doing it on there, but Twitter, I think you got it.
Love
That's okay.
That was a good time.
We got to talk about it. Wally,
the Wally Freeway.
The Wally Freeway.
Wally did just tweet me. I'm going against two people.
When hasn't he?
Yeah, he did it last year.
He did it last night. I went last year.
Yeah.
So do you think he'll be marking it? You know, he'll be spraying his cool water on both of them when he defeats them.
I don't
know what he'll be spraying, but he's going to do whatever he has to get out of this matchup.
I think Zach can pull this off.
Do you?
Yeah,
Zach's getting a lot of traction.
He is.
I think Zach can pull this one off.
Zach's been stepping up his game on Twitter lately too.
Absolutely, he sure has, man. He's had a ton of great Photoshop stuff.
Yeah.
He's been posting exactly the type of stuff I wish my sex son would post for me.
I wish I didn't have a wife or kids. I could just
No, you don't. Stop yourself.
No. I wish I had the time. This is the matchup right here. First opening round matchup. Mr. Han and Ben Rosen.
I agree. That's
showing out.
That's the closest matchup. I agree.
Because we know the 108's going to show up.
I think that might be close, but Beefloaf's going to crush whoever comes out of that.
Oh, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
Oh, you think Kier's going to beat you, and then he's going to...
No, Kier's
body parts trying to beat him.
Yeah. Quarantine. Is she here?
Yes, she's here.
Did she just respond?
Yeah, she said, "Fuck you."
Are you making cookies for the winner? Like, are you going to offer out cookies? Because
give me a vote, get a cookie.
I may have to, because that's pretty much the only thing I got going for me is the baking thing.
I don't know, White Claw Nation.
White Claw Nation, yeah.
Oh, will my White Claw Nation come to that?
Yeah,
I think so.
And Mrs. Bobbles actually makes cookies too, so we could have a cookie showdown going on.
You fat bastard.
Also, I feel like Bobbles Jim is going to be like, no one's going to vote for me because they don't know that I'm actually Uncle Rico or Gobbles Jim.
Oh, please.
Like, we should have had Bobbles Jim, a.k.a. Gobbles Jim, a.k.a.
Uncle Rico.
Hey, how much fucking marker you think he's got, man?
I love Bobbles Jim, but you know what? He's not worth that much time. All right? Let's move it along our lives.
All right, any snubs?
I have one, but I don't know if it would qualify in 108 or super fans. Because I could see an argument in both regions. So if you want to hold off, I'll bring it up afterwards.
No, go for it.
Here.
All right, where's Nick Clark?
Yeah.
How could you go against a guy who had a top 5 108 performance last year?
Yes, he did.
Who humped Ron Kittle's leg. And not only that, spreads the word of the White Sox across the pond.
It's true.
So can I say something here? Because it goes into my snub here, which is Jack Benton is snubbed here. He's contributed to the blog.
Yeah.
Who? The problem that
how dare you? It's been more blogs than you have this year.
The problem with some of these is like these guys have private accounts, so it's not like we want to blast them out and be like, "Hey, go look at this guy who probably doesn't want you to go look at him."
Yeah, doesn't want the
So
attention.
like private accounts, we pretty much keep out. So those two guys, we love them, but they did not get in this year.
For me, the big difference between Nick Clark getting in or not was not only Chirizi's point, but he's a big presence in person.
Yes.
And not much of a presence on Twitter. So, when you meet, I love the guy. I give him a big hug when I see him. I can't wait to talk to him. But I almost never read a tweet.
The problem is we're drunk at very different times.
That's a key.
And you don't follow soccer or football the way he does.
Football. That's correct.
My snub is Champ from the Shy City Sports.
Now, I must say,
it's sad, but I understand why he's not there. But that's one person that I thought got snubbed, and maybe we should have had him in.
Let me tell you something about that. If I were going to go with one of those guys, I'd go DC before I'd go Champ. Because DC contributes a lot more on Twitter. He's a lot more active. So I love Champ. Champ's a great guy, but he ain't to this level. He ain't doing as much on this as these other guys.
Is Migo Speaks. Miss Wally money.
It's a good call.
I think
you know what? Wally she couldn't be in the room for what's happening. In that all right, kind of gives the guy some privacy.
Yeah, I think you could have moved Kier over with them and then had Wally and her and those three.
Oh, so
five-way.
Five-way. Then Jack could have been it.
These are good ideas for next year. I'm not gonna. I really like this idea.
She's gonna be soon to be married to Drunk Walter, and we're gonna 108 the shit out of that fucking wedding. And DJ probably be up in it, everything. I mean, we are owed that. I feel like that relationship happened because of the 108.
Oh wow! All right.
Oh
yeah.
We're taking full credit.
I'm taking 100% credit for that.
All right. Let's get on to the super fans, man.
All right. So final wraps up.
Is the toughest bracket to pick, and it is the Superfans bracket.
Yeah, this one was
the number 1 seed, the winner of this bracket last year, and the runner-up in the tournament last year is Shy Sox fan Mike, and he's going up against the number 16 seed, the man with the biggest fucking hat collection, White Sox hat collection you've ever seen, Chris Mars. Number 8 is our guy Scott Garcia, who's always representing 108.
Rep us on MLB.
We're in the winter meetings. He's at winter meetings. He's at spring training. He's a big rep. He really could have been in the 108 bracket. And we'll probably shuffle some of that stuff around next year. Like there's guys and gals in this bracket that could potentially be on our side, but for now they're here. And number 9 is my guy Infamous Marv. Him and Uncle Grumpy often visit us on Sundays at the ballpark, and he's a big proponent of our live events. He comes out to all of our events, the low res, the Buffalo Wings and Wings. Number 5 and 12 matchup is the matchup of the Master Tailgaters. Number 5 is our guy Johnny Nani from Sox on 35th, from Shy Sox Weekly, from all kinds of other shit. He's the hardest working man in White Sox Twitter. He might be Jamaican, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. And that's number 12 seed, Sockside Pride. Number 4 is Dylan Covey's burner account, and he'll be facing off against one of the play-in winners in this bracket, number 13, Tanky Vicieto, who is the author of the Awful Pundit Tournament. Yes. You guys follow that on Twitter.
Ben Shapiro is in that tournament. It's very funny stuff. You should check that out.
And then the number 3 seed was the number 3 seed, I believe, last year in this bracket. That's Matt Bond. And he's facing off against a newcomer to this tournament, number 14, Bennett Carroll. The number 6 seed is Bonnie, and she's facing off against the number 11 seed, and also a winner of one of our play-in games, Jen. The number 7 seed is Jeff the Giant, the biggest human being in this entire tournament, against the number 10 seed, Juan Uribe's Cup, who's on. Both of these guys are my top 5 White Sox Twitter people that I haven't met yet that I really want to meet.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 2 is Ali, and she's going against number 15 seed White Sox Sal.
I want to say it's Ali.
I think it's Ali.
I think it's Ali.
It's not Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, it's not Muhammad.
That's. You're probably right.
It's like Ali Larder.
Like it's pronounced like Alley.
Sure.
Yeah.
That helps you. Yeah.
Phonetic pronunciation.
That was funny. We're getting some messages.
It's backwards.
Bobbles Jim. Bobbles Jim is mad because you didn't say Uncle Rico, but you also said that you snuffed Jeff the Giant in the last bracket, and look who's here.
No, we didn't say we snuffed Jeff the Giant.
No, Bobbles Jim is saying
you snuffed, and then it was here.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Calm down. The condom on your head's gonna burst.
Yeah, that reservoir cup's filling up there.
I really like.
I thought he said I snuffed him.
I really like the 4 versus 13 matchup here. I like that one. I'm gonna say I'm looking at the Bennett Carroll Matt Bond. Matt Bond has not been present on Twitter.
And Bennett Carroll's been tearing it up the last couple of weeks.
Gonna go right through that.
That's a dangerous 14.
That is a 14 that can move. Yeah.
And that's the guy that Treasy and I put in this tournament
last week. I know that too.
So
he stepped up his game.
I had reached out to Beefloaf and I was like, "Hey, dude, check this guy out because I feel like, he's got some really good tweets. I like seeing what he's got out there." And I was at work and I'm not paying attention to what the fuck's going on. I'm doing my job for once. And Beefloaf messages me and he's like, "Hey, have you seen what Bennett Carroll's doing on Twitter right now?" And I had no idea that Arenado had even signed. Yeah, like that he had even re-upped with the Rockies. And you can go from here. It's what you love.
And so I messaged him. I'm like, he has retweeted 109 tweets of people saying, "Don't worry about Machado. We'll get Arenado next year." And like Twitter's just blowing up one after one after one, and people are responding like, "Oh, you're doing God's work here with this." So that's what I told you. I'm like, all right, he's in. Yeah. We'll have to bump somebody, but he's got to be in this field.
He works with a porn star, too.
Does he?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I know he's got a few podcasts, and he's a big like UMass basketball fan.
There's two matchups that really fascinate me here. Jeff the Giant versus Juan Uribe's Cup. You get a giant of a man versus a giant Wang. And then Bonnie and Jen. Woo! Two knowledgeable Sox fans. Two passionate Sox fans. Do we get a cat fight out of it?
Potentially. It could be chaotic.
There could be some internet words thrown back. I could see that happening. Let's My Sox Summer. What do you got? What are you liking?
So I put down all the ladies are all in the same area. So all the ladies are going to have to fight.
They're on this side of the bracket.
Kind of cat fight kind of thing. And I also included Sal as a lady. So. Just so you know that, Sal, you're a lady. And I also had a lot of big hitters. A lot of big hitters up in this bitch. There's a lot of good people. Snubs, my two snubs, Mailman Jack.
Yes.
Yeah. And White and Soxy.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's just hard to get everybody in.
Yeah, I had like there's a section over here in the spreadsheet, and Mailman Jack's definitely sitting right there like, I'm trying to figure a way to get him in, but I can't.
You want to tell him it's like, I'm sorry there's not a conference tournament that you can win to get an automatic bid. Because sometimes your performance is good, but it's just not, like the committee just doesn't, you can't put everybody.
It's just on a whim. We might say, oh, well, that seems a little bit better than that. You know, it's tough.
Pete, who you got for snubs, man?
I can think of one, and that would be M Sox 12, Michaeline.
Yeah. There's another one, yes.
And, but I do have to say, someone told me this a couple weeks ago, and I find it humorous. Actually, it was Michaeline who told me this, that Shy Sox fan Mike may be the only person angrier than me.
The YouTube folks are saying fan since '62 is a big snub.
He was
in the play-in.
He was in the play-in. He is a big snub too. Yeah.
If you're saying that he was a big snub, it's your fault.
You should have voted for him. Yeah, exactly. Right. No, that is another great one. Like, I think for the Superfans region, we could have made a whole nother fucking bracket.
I think you could get 2 of the 4 regions with just Superfans.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, totally agree with that. There's a bunch that I could think of that we missed, like Big Pookie, Danny Reyes. But Danny Reyes mostly because me and him talk metal. So really, it's great Sox Twitter, but I enjoy that. One guy that I thought could have been in a couple of the different brackets. He could have been in the 108, which was B-Son. So what I thought about,
but is B-Son legal?
He's not legal. But I think he's going to college soon, and I think he's going to college in the city.
He is.
And if there's ever been a section that has a bunch of extra tickets every game,
there's no question.
If he wants to take the bus down and be at the game, I think he makes the 108 bracket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Especially since he contributed to the blog with designs way fucking better than yours.
And can I just sit there wearing my design on your head?
I know.
Right. Can I?
You remember what I said? I didn't say that all your designs suck. I said you fucking phoned it in on the jersey.
Just because you didn't like it. Yeah. I mean,
I thought, hey, just because there was no actual design, you just wrote socks on the thing. You know?
He's acting like there's a blank canvas and you wrote in a crayon something.
I had one more, and I'll throw it out. I mean, I have 50 more, but one more, and I'll talk about this in the podcast because I think this is all My Sox Summer's fault. I got conspiracy theory on why Crappy Oates is not in. So Crappy Oates is another guy I wanted in. He's not in.
Crappy Oates, great dog. Awesome dog you brought to the
right now. He's
comes to our events. Nice
he rose up with Kopech.
Illini fan.
He's out for a year with Kopech. I think he's back next year.
Okay.
And I just got to say two things. I think Scott and Johnny Nani should both be higher.
Seating wise.
Because Scott, like you said, he represents everywhere.
Absolutely.
He was representing at the Hall of Fame last year. At the winter meetings, if you catch him in the background, you see him chugging a beer while Ricky's on TV talking away.
Actually, I could see him next year being the 8th seed or the 9th seed, probably the 9th seed in the 108 bracket.
I can see
because if Bobble Jim keeps fucking complaining.
Well, he's going to have to bring a lot of turkey to sweeten the pot and stay in there.
Pookie's shouting you out there on the Twitter, on the YouTube.
And Johnny Nani needs to be hired.
Do it again.
Johnny
Nani,
the hardest working guy in any region.
Yes.
I mean, he's on. What is he on? Sox on 35th. He's on Chi Sox Weekly. He does the Four Feathers podcast for the Hogs.
He could actually be in every region.
Yeah, probably.
He could literally be in every region. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, you guys didn't even bring him up, but he was my last cut of this. Is Chi Sox Anthony. I got him in here, and he was the last cut.
He's on the YouTube.
Yeah, he was the very last cut, and I was like looking at it over and over, like, how could I get him back in there? How could I get him back in there? And I just couldn't. So, unfortunately.
Anybody else have any? I don't see any other.
I mean, I have a bunch more snubs, and I'm super drunk already. So, this buzz going too. You know what? I think it was that I drank a whole bunch while Pat was talking.
There you go.
I used his real name too.
This is going to be a great podcast. I mean, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So our podcast coming in.
So I mean, just to wrap it up, I mean, thanks everybody who's on here watching right now.
Thank you.
And it's gonna be a lot of fun. If you got snubbed this year, listen to the podcast. We'll probably talk a little bit more about you. But
we'll talk about criteria too and things we look for.
But everyone just enjoy the tournament. It's gonna start this Friday. So we're going to have matchups Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And that'll be the first round. And then we'll go from there, and we'll be posting shit and letting you know about everything. If you have any complaints about me personally snubbing you, come out to my show on Sunday night and tell me about it so that you have to pay to come to tell me about it.
Where's the show?
It's at Crown Liquors. It's 2821 North Lincoln, Barren Plains. We're playing about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So get out there. We'll have a bunch of beers. We're playing for like an hour.
Okay.
So,
so 3 songs.
Literally playing. We are playing all 6 of our songs. Last night it clocked in at just over an hour. So come out for that. It's instrumental post rock. So be stoned. All right. That's it for right now. We're gonna do the podcast. I'm not gonna edit it, and then we're gonna put it right up. So probably about 11:30 or so, you should see it in your feed.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Good night.